Welcome back to BoltAction Bunker, and in this episode I'm making some terrain for cruel seas. Welcome back to BoltAction Bunker, and in this episode something slightly different. I'm going to be doing some cruel seas, so I want some terrain to go down on the table. So to start off with, there's a few things you're going to need. Some polystyrene. So I've got some, this is black but use white just as easy. So black polystyrene I've got here. This is an offcut, so it's 2 inches thick, and I'm going to cut this up. Now to cut this I've got a hot wire cutter. So you can pick these up from your hobby shop or online on eBay. They're not too bad, nice and cheap. So you can get hold of these. This is a needle one, but you can use just a wire one as well to cut the polystyrene with, and it gives you quite a nice, easy to use cutting tool for shaping rocks and that type of stuff for your terrain. So I'm just going to plug this in, get it warmed up, and I'll show you how to cut them. Okay, so I'm going to take the polystyrene, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut this. So to start off with, this is an offcut, so it's a bit of an odd size. But what I want to do is make my terrain 3 inches deep. So when I join the pieces up, the joining piece is going to be 3 inches. So I've just marked 3 inches this side, 3 inches this side, and then I'm going to cut some rock shapes out here with the hot wire cutter. Now, obviously it is hot, so mind your fingers, and you're going to need a bit of rag or some tissue as well, because melting the polystyrene does stick on this, I've found. So I'll show you how we get on with this. So I've marked my 3 inches, so I'm just going to go in, start off the 3 inches line, and then cut down some shapes all the way down this polystyrene. As you can see, doesn't go too fast, but it's not difficult, doesn't take a lot of effort to get through this. So just cut out some shapes of just the land that we're going to do, like the edge of the coast. Now the idea of me doing this was, like I say, I'm going to get some cruel sea stuff, and I want some terrain to go down. I see a guy online on YouTube do some cruel sea stuff, and he just had some basic terrain down, and it just turned the table into such a different place to play. So I thought, well, I can have a go at that, and I'll show you guys me doing it. So let's just cut this through. As you can see, it's rough, it's not straight. I want it just nice and all over the place really for the cliffs. And as you can see, where the polystyrene's melting on this, it just gets a little bit sticky, and you can just wipe this. Obviously it is very hot, so mind your fingers. And then I've marked the 3 inches up this end, so that's where if I'm going to join them, that's where I'm going to join them. So just start there, cut this down. Like I say, it's nice and easy. And this is, I'm not going to spend too much time on this terrain. I really just want to get it done, get it on the tabletop, and just something to play with really. Just keep it round the table, make the table look a bit more interesting. So there we go, just cut this off. There we go. Like that. Turn that off a sec. Okay, so there's my 3 inch piece that I'm going to keep. So this here is 3 inches. This end is 3 inches as well, so I can join 2 segments together, and I'll show you that when I've got them. That's going to be a bit of waste, so you could turn that into rocks if you wanted later on. So to start with, we're just going to go back with this. There's a little bit of tidying up to do here, but not a lot. Where the cutter's gone through it, that's okay, that's fine. So that's the shape we're going to have. Just going to check that that is actually 3 inches, because it looks big. Let me just make sure. Yep, okay. Now, when we're cutting this, again, I'm going to use the hot wire cutter, and I'm just going to go in when it warms back up. Just go back in and cut out some little shapes in here. like that. Get rid of that bit. Just there. I say it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be the best terrain in the world, but I want something quick and easy just to get down on the table. I don't want us to be spending weeks on it. So there we go. Let's just cut some of these out. As you can see, the cutter goes through this really easy, and you can just cut these out now. Just go along there like that. You can see the shapes coming along just here. There we go. Right, I'm going to finish this one up and I'll show you the results. Okay, so I've now cut these out, and let me just show you what I've got, and you can see how they're working together. And like I say, this is just going to be quick terrain, get it down on the table. I want to play it, I don't want to spend hours on it. If you want to spend hours on it, you can fill some of these bobbly bits that are missing along here. You could put a filler over here, water down some filler, and then just brush it in, and you could fill this off, give it a little sand if you wanted. I'm not going to bother with that, okay? So this is just going to be as quick as I can get some rocks on the table. I'm going to. Now, this is what I said about leaving 3 inches here to butt the next one up to. So I've made a few of these. So this one and this one, now I can actually put them together on the tabletop, and as you can see, they just go together. They're not going to be perfect, but they're going to be good enough. Okay, so that will now give me, I think these are about just under 2 foot, these sections. So that's giving me nearly 4 foot of terrain really, really quick. Now to do these really easy, what I did, I marked out 6 inches, that way round I think it was. I marked out 6 inches of the polystyrene, cut this in half, and then ran the hot knife, just run the hot knife down here, zigzagging all the way down, here, and then that way when I broke it apart I had 2 pieces of terrain, not just one. So that's how I got those. Just cut them out. As you can see, they look pretty good already. I also put the hot glue gun at an angle, not glue gun, sorry, the hot wire cutter, and then just cut the top off at an angle right the way along. So just gives it a little bit more of a 3D shape as well. Hope you can see that on the camera. So they look pretty good. So I've done a few of them now. So let's just get on and get some of these painted. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so now we've got our cliff face all cut out. It's time to paint them and get them done. So I'm not going to do any filling work on these, so you can see some of the little bits of the polystyrene, but I'm really saying, I'm not going to be filling these. I just want to get them on the table quick. So to start off with, a paintbrush, and I've got some normal black emulsion. So this is Dulux black emulsion. I think it was on special offer, that's why I've got the Dulux one, but you know, if it's you're in your B&Q or wherever you are and they've got one reduced, get yourself just a black emulsion. So let's get this painted, and I'm just going to go on here with a black. I know they're already black, but get this on. All the cliffs. This obviously will help fill some of those little gaps. It ain't going to fill them all for definite, but you know, it will help a little bit. And if you mix up a little bit of filler, you could fill these as well. Make it, you know, you could really make a really good job of these. Like I say, I'm not worrying. I just want to get them on the table. So there we go. As you can see, nice and easy painting these. And make sure you get right in the rocks there, because when we do some dry brushing on these, that's what's going to show, the dark recesses and the light. And I go right along like that. And for not a lot of effort you can make yourself some nice terrain here. Okay, so I hope you can see that. That looks really good. You can see the contours and the shapes on there. Also, while I'm painting, I'm going to paint the back as well. So it is actually finished. They've got a little bit of a finish on it as we go along. So I'm going to finish these up and I'll come back when they're done. Now then, all our terrain is all dry, all the black's dry on all of our terrain. It's time to start doing a little bit of dry brushing on these pieces now. So this is a piece here. I've got some grey paint, which all I did was use some white emulsion and some black emulsion, and then just made up some grey. It's not too dark, it's not too light, so just some grey, and then I'm just going to start going around the pieces, just dry brushing these, and you see straight away, sort of really just pick up on those edges, makes it look like the cliffs and rocks. Really simple to do, really quick. So again, this is a piece, this is 3 inches here, so it's a 3-inch piece here, 3-inch piece here, and I've made out a rock going out. And I'm just doing with the grey, I'm just doing more at the top than the bottom, so the bottom's slightly darker than the top. So I just want to get on there. So the top's a little bit lighter, a little bit more grey on that top, going down towards the black, down to the bottom, just like that. And as you can see, that's coming out quite nice. That's one piece. Now this was the individual island, so this was just a piece of scatter terrain. It's quite big. You can just drop this on the table, gives you a harbour, gives you a real big island to go around. So again, just going to go in with a grey as a base coat, not a base coat, sorry, as a dry brush, right round, pick up all this detail in here that we've cut in, make that look really good. Go right round with this. And so it doesn't take long, and you can end up with some real nice terrain for cruel seas on here. We're going to use this technique as well for other stuff in the future, but for now, just the cruel seas. I've just done a big box opening. I've just now received all my cruel sea stuff. So unfortunately the weekend whizzed past and I couldn't finish the build off. So I've got to do it in 2 parts. So apologies for that, but we're going to have to do it in 2 parts for the building. And then that way I can do a little bit longer with you, showing you what you get in the kits. Looking quite good. Let's just have a little look closer on the camera. Like this, and then what I'll do, once I've dry brushed some of these, I'll do a little bit closer up so you get a really good look at these. Okay, alright, I'm going to finish a couple more of these off and I'll show you the results. So this is one of the long straight sections that we made, so it's 3 inches on the end here, 3 inches up here, so they can butt onto each other, and you can put also other sections in. like a corner, for instance. You can put a corner in here, so that's why I do that. So just 3 inches, just make sure they're all compatible. And again, the big dry brush on here with the grey to start with, just getting that grey on there really doesn't take long. I'll show you guys just how easy this is. How effective this can be. It really does look good when it's on your tabletop. There we go, so it doesn't take long to get that effect. I've got a few more to do. Let's get on. Okay, so now all our pieces are all dry with the grey dry brushing. So all I'm going to do now is use some white emulsion paint. Just go on there like we did before with the grey. Just wipe most of it off, and we're going to give this a highlight of just white emulsion. And we're just going to go on here, just pick out just a little bit on the highlights around the rocks. Again, just at the top, don't want to go down the bottom, so just on that top, just picking out a little bit of the highlight on that rock. And again, do the same on this one. Just picking out the highlights, don't go too mad with it. But it doesn't matter if you do, you can just go back in with a grey, go back over, doesn't matter. And again, just bring out that white in the rock. Let's try this one, just along the top again, bring out there just to give it another colour. There we go. There you go, it really does make that look pop out. Nice and easy. Do another one. So this is just a little standalone rock. Again, just going to do the top, go round. Just a dry brush on there. And that's going to look really effective. There we go. I've done another standalone rock here. I think it's way too big for what we're going to use. I think it's too big. It's an odd shape. I don't particularly like it now I've done it, but I'm just going to finish it off. A little bit of white on here now, on that top there. Done. Let's get get the next bit done. So this is the standalone piece. Again, just going to go around, pick up some of the top highlights on here. Make that stand out. That looks pretty good. There we go. Just finish this bit off. And there you can see just a complete separate colour now, the white and the grey on that black. So I'm going to do the rest and I'll show you those. Okay, so the next step now, we've dry brushed them, we've put the highlight on as well. So now I'm going to flock the tops. Okay, so I've just got some flock from Jarvis Scenics. So this is just an olivey green on a piece of cardboard down. So that way when I put the sprinkle of flock over, I can put it back in the tub. So I've got PVA glue and a brush, and then all I'm going to do is just brush this on the top of the scenery, of your terrain. Now I've not watered this down. Again, if you like the results with watered down PVA, water yours down. I don't with mine, very rarely anyway. So just going to go round. I only want to do the flat edges. I don't want to go down the cliff face where we did it at an angle. So I just want to do the top of the cliff. I don't want to go down if we can help it. There we go. Like I said before, this doesn't take too long. Take your time here, you want to try and make a neat job of it. You want to fill up, make sure you fill up all your holes, if you've got any holes left on the top of the polystyrene. There we go. And then take your flock. I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top. Just there, just take that out. Use a little brush. You can pat it down as well then. There we go. Tap that off. And now you can see we've got our sides of the rock. That's where we're going to join one piece to the next, and then that's our top. So let's do another one. So this one is one of the small rocks, and again I'm just going to put a little bit of grass on the top of this as well. So just there, just on the top, around the edges. Just like that. There we go. Sprinkle the turf on, pat it down. And again, now you can see we've got the rock and a little bit of greenery on the top. Let's do a, I'll do a corner. Okay, so let's do a corner. Again, just going to glue the top over. There we go. like I said before, you could paint the tops of yours green, put the sand on, then paint them green, just dry brush the green to give you a turf on the top if you wanted to do it that way, like I did in the basic terrain tile. But this is, I think this looks a little bit better. So let's just get some turf on there. There we go. Yeah, it looks like it's using a lot of product, but it's not really. Keep checking that camera, make sure the battery's running okay. There we go. Take that off, and then as a corner. Okay, they look really good. So I'm going to do a few more and I'll show you the results. Okay, so just a quick look at the pieces while they're drying of some of the rocks, how they come out. There you go. I think they come out pretty well. So I'm going to let these dry, and then I'll put them on the tabletop and you can have a little look at them actually on the table. There we go. Let's let these dry. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the terrain on the table. As you can see, it come out really well. I think it looks really good. You've got the corners and just a few little scatter pieces. There, like that. There was the big piece I wasn't quite sure about. As you can see, come out really well, and I've put a few of the ships on, the ones that I've built. They're not undercoated yet. The standalone island, the little refuge there, the other rock pieces. That was the section that we just put in, so you can add it anywhere you want. And then the long sections, the corner pieces, another section there, and then over the other side. Just look along there. Hope you agree that's really easy to make. Makes the table look really good. And really enjoyed making that. Really pleased. There we go. One last look at the table. There we have it. Easy build terrain for cruel seas.